Welcome to Ask Dr. Taylor in the DMs, where we respond to questions that have been sent in from around the world. Two of our team, Asia Hudson and Grant Gilmore, have joined me from the Ask Dr. Taylor editing bay. They have the questions from the worldwide online community for this episode, and I just get to try to answer them. I've been looking forward to this new episode of Ask Dr. Taylor in the DMs. So I'm ready if you are.
Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of Ask Dr. Taylor in the DMs. I know that we typically take to the streets and ask random people questions about brain function, but here on Ask Dr. Taylor in the DMs, we actually allow her followers from her social media platforms to flood her DMs with any questions that they have burning on their hearts and in their minds. So we're about to get into it, and let's hop right in to our questions from the DMs. All right, number one from Jacob. Jacob wants to know, how do you cure a hangover? Jacob, that's a very valuable question that I think millions of people would love to know the answer to. Is there a shortcut, or what is the how-to of curing a hangover? Dr. Taylor, back to you.
Well, Jacob, according to researchers from King's College London, there is zero convincing evidence that any so-called cures work for a hangover or visalgia. Drinking coffee, taking a shower, or having an alcoholic beverage the next morning will not cure a hangover. You must wait until the brain and body finally get rid of the toxin, alcohol, and its side effects, such as headaches from the tightening and shrinkage of the coverings of the brain, from dehydration, fatigue, weakness, thirst, muscle aches, nausea, stomach pain, vertigo, sensitivity to light and sound, anxiety, irritability, sweating, and increased blood pressure. That's a lot.
Question number two is from Ashley. And Ashley wants to know, what is the biggest part of your brain? That's a great question.
The biggest part of your brain is the cerebrum, or the third brain layer as described by Paul D. MacLean. It's the largest part of the brain. The very wrinkled outer portion of the cerebrum, known as the six-layer neocortex, is believed to be involved with conscious thought. Nice to know where that might be coming from.
All right, number three is from Candace in Canada. And Candace in Canada says, is there something in your brain that tells you what your future is going to be? I wonder what this means specifically. Like, are premonitions a part of brain function? Like getting a feeling about something as a premonition, or deja vu, or actually being a psychic? That's a really interesting question, Candace from Canada. I'm excited to see how Dr. Taylor's going to answer that one.
There are parts of the brain that can imagine what your future might be like. A type of predictor based on your past history, your present mindset, your activities, and how you're choosing to move forward toward your desired future. Eleanor Roosevelt believed that your life is what you make it. However, I know of no research that has identified a region of the brain that can tell you what your actual future is going to be.
All right. Another one we have here from Anonymous in South America. And they want to know, how can I strengthen my brain? I know it's a muscle, but how can I make it stronger?
Well, actually, your brain is not a muscle, nor does it contain any muscle tissue whatsoever. Some of its functions resemble a muscle in that you either lose them or risk losing them over time. How can you strengthen your brain? by living what I call a balanced longevity lifestyle. My free Longevity Lifestyle Matters program online contains many tips. Access it at my website, www.arlenetaylor.org.
Question 5 is from Olu, and Olu wants to know, for brain health, what food should I eat on a daily basis? That's a really great question. I feel like people who ask questions like this are very health conscious, and I'm a McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, fries, lots of ketchup and barbecue sauce kind of gal, so this would also help me out a lot. I eat, almonds, but they're also honey roasted and they're covered in sugar, so I don't really think that counts. So Dr. Taylor, what food should Olu and myself eat on a daily basis for brain health?
Studies have shown a Mediterranean diet or style of eating is being touted as advisable for brain-body health. It encourages eating fruits, vegetables, legumes, whole grains, nuts, seeds, and healthier fats. It minimizes added sugar, especially high fructose corn syrup and table sugar, highly refined and processed foods, and a limited consumption of alcohol if it is used at all.
This one's really good, and I think it's very interesting. This question is from Henry, and Henry wants to know, do people who are blind or are missing a sense, do they have other senses that are incredibly strong, like Daredevil? Love that. And why do some of our senses distract us? For example, how come I can hear better when my eyes close? Henry, that's a great question, and I love the Daredevil reference. That's pretty good. All right. I've also wondered the same thing. Sometimes when I'm driving down the street and I'm lost, which happens to me personally very frequently because I'm horrible at navigation, I'll try to find where I'm going and the music will be loud, and I have to turn it down so I can see. Why is that?
When a brain is missing the sense of sight, the other senses do appear to compensate by growing stronger. The brain can enhance its non-visual abilities, resulting in a heightened sense of hearing, taste, smell, and touch. The brain may also experience heightened cognitive functions, memory and language, for example. When you close your eyes, you reduce the visual sensory data input that could compete with your sense of hearing. So this allows you to concentrate primarily on what you hear.
And that wraps it up for another episode of Ask Dr. Taylor in the DMs, where instead of taking it to the streets and ask random people questions about brain function, Dr. Taylor's followers hit her up in the DMs to ask her questions about brain function. So follow us for our Ask Dr. Taylor DMs and all of our other Ask Dr. Taylor journeys.
Leave that in there. It's so cute.
Oh, should I?
Yes. It's so real. Oh, it's cute because she goes and starts again.
Maybe at least one of them, yeah.
Thank you, Asia and Grant. And thank you to the worldwide online community for sharing your brain questions. And thank you to our viewers for watching. Until next time, remember, Confucius says, "Those who ask questions may feel foolish for a moment. Those who refuse to ask questions are foolish for a lifetime."